Hey everybody, and welcome to the big 2017-2018 SB Nation NBA season preview. My name is Dan Rubenstein. The preview is presented to all of us by Xfinity Mobile. We have a fun show for you here today. We're going to be playing, it's sort of a game show. There are categories. We have a bunch of sort of contestants, experts, and fun SB Nation NBA people who are going to be, they're going to be just giving you information. I'm but a Sherpa for the NBA discussion and information. They're shaking their heads because I got to get my Sherpa reference in there. But it's a fun game. Let's meet our panelists right now. Let's start. Look at, oh my God, look at them. So let's start. Mike Prada, SB Nation NBA editor. We have Christian Winfield, NBA contributor for SB Nation. We have Bram Kincheloe. I nailed his name. I feel like I nailed his name. Associate editor.
Not really.
For Golden State of Mind. Whitney Medworth, SB Nation NBA editor. SB Nation NBA contributor. And Zito Medu, who wanted me to go with a very specific title, but let's also call him SB Nation NBA contributor. Oh. How's that?
That's
it feels right?
That's fine.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Okay,
right.
So we have a number of topics. You will recognize sort of the category names, but we're going to have a bunch of fun. So let's start with the first topic, and the first category is going to be selected by Mr. Prada. So let's look at these categories real quick. One gotta go. My next chapter, Drake's wardrobe, and trust the process. Always trust the process.
Now, this is a very difficult decision. I'm going to go my next chapter.
My next chapter, a reference to Kevin Durant, I believe.
Was it Kevin Durant or was it like Jody Meeks going to the Wizards?
Yeah, that's what it must be. It must be. Yeah. Who is the most exciting player on a new team?
Most exciting player.
Most exciting player on a new team. We'll start with you, Prada, and then we will open the discussion up. You can write it down on your whiteboards, please.
Most exciting new player.
Yes. So obviously an off-season with a lot of movement, superstars finding new homes, a very active free agency time. So write down who the most exciting, so just in terms of pure entertainment, the most exciting. What do we have? Prada says Kyrie, and it's legible. There's already the first upset of the day. Christian, who are you saying? Ooh, okay. D'Angelo.
Yes.
D'Angelo Russell.
D'Angelo Russell.
Bram?
I also have Kyrie.
Also Kyrie. Paul George on OKC. And Zito, please show the camera. Melo. So, Kyrie, people, tell me why.
Well, I'm fascinated to see what he does in the Celtics system. Like, let's be honest, the Cavs were kind of an iso ball team. So it was like, LeBron, you do your thing. Kyrie, you do your thing. Brad Stevens' system is not like that. And so I'm really excited to see. I think Kyrie's going to have a humongous offensive year if he buys in. Like, this is going to sound really disrespectful to Isaiah Thomas.
Very.
5'7" dude averaged 29 points a game in that system. Now imagine what Kyrie can do in it. That's what I'm excited to see.
Okay. That's fair enough. Bram, anything different?
I mean, I'm always excited once people put on new uniforms and how weird it looks for the first month or two of the season and including preseason. And just seeing Kyrie do all of the Kyrie things, but being unfettered by pure iso ball and just having the ball whipping around and having the passes find him in strange places on the court. I think it's something that's going to look really strange and awkward and awesome eventually in those green uniforms. And again, like he's one of the most explosive, dynamic players in the league, and just seeing him in a different system, like who knows what he's capable of.
Fair enough. We're getting to D'Angelo Russell last because for obvious reasons.
By the way, it'll be ironic to see Kyrie go around the court in this system.
Yeah, as opposed to?
How is that? I just want to say, how is that ironic?
Well, because, instead of,
Oh my God, we have our first reach of the day. Our first reach of the day. Let's go with the OKC answers. Paul George and Melo. Let's start with you, Whitney. Why Paul George?
Yeah, I think you're going to see a different side of Paul George. He's always had to be like the #1 guy, which put a lot of pressure on him, which I think he wasn't ready for. Now all the pressure is on Russ and then also some on Melo. So Paul's just going to be free to be like the cool, calm, smooth two-way player, which I think is going to benefit him really well. So in theory, like I think that it's a perfect place for him to be kind of like Robin to Russ's Batman.
Okay.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So who do you feel like Melo is going to be more of the Robin than Paul George?
Well, this is like the Melo answer is like off the court stuff, right?
Okay.
Did you see his
That's fine, that
goodbye
counts.
letter to like to New York? He swears he's like Confucius, and I
Stay
would
mellow.
love to see how that works out because he thinks he's like the greatest philosopher of our time.
Okay.
And I want to see his Instagram like captions. I want to see his like hoodie mellow time in OKC. Plus, like OKC
Is he number 7? Can he keep the stay mellow
Yeah,
with the 7?
he's
Okay,
gonna
just
keep
making
this-
sure.
This is his brand now. He
Big
wants
Willie.
to be like this super deep, fake deep guy. Like,
Do you think he'll be exciting on the court, though?
He's out.
And do you care?
Who is more fake deep, Kyrie or Melo?
Did you see the goodbye letter that he wrote?
Have you seen what Kyrie has been saying?
Brady, you don't get
my
to ask the
goodness.
question.
Yeah.
Sorry, you don't get to ask the question.
Excuse me.
Christian, sell me on D'Angelo Russell and excitement.
I mean, anytime you have the greatest point guard of all time question your leadership, you're going to have a chip on your shoulder. And
Okay.
he's coming to a new city. he has a
John
second
Stockton did that?
No, not John Stockton.
Okay,
But no,
fair.
he's coming to a new city. He's coming to a new offense where he has offensive freedom, and he has a fresh start. And I just think this is a great chance for him to.
It does seem like
prove
a good
Magic
fit.
Johnson wrong, and I think he's going to do it. So.
You know what? That's a good case. I'm giving Christian some points, and he gets to select the second category. How about that?
Let's go.
What do you think?
Oh, one got to go.
One gotta go.
gotta go.
Here we go. Listen, we hope nobody gets fired. We hope everybody stays gainfully employed and families stay where they are, but it's a certain reality that somebody's gonna get fired, most likely during the season. Who's gonna get fired first? Alvin Gentry, New Orleans, Jeff Hornacek, right here in New York, Fred Hoiberg in Chicago, or somebody else entirely? Write down your answer and figure out who you think will be hitting the unemployment line, as if coaches were going to be hitting the unemployment line.
So they're going to be on food stamps.
They are, yes, that's what's going to happen. That's
$1 million food
so
stamp.
unfortunate. So write down your answer. Who's going to get fired first? Gentry, Hoiberg, or Hornacek, or somebody else entirely. Here we go. Christian, we'll start with you because it is your category. He has drawn something. Please explain your drawing.
This is Jeff Hornacek.
That is Jeff Hornacek. Okay,
Hornacek.
he's
'cause
some
the
sort
horns.
of an elf, a nymph of some kind.
He's just a guy that has horns on his head.
Yeah,
Okay,
horns.
And
he is in like a devil way.
If people
this is Jeff
can't,
Hornacek.
Okay.
people can't
Why
find out what
Hornacek?
you're
I
drawing.
mean, basically, as soon as he took the Knicks job, he was in the hot seat because Phil Jackson should have never had him in that
more
job
Phil.
in the first place. Yeah,
No more
there's
triangle.
more Phil, but he's in over his head. New York is the toughest market to coach, and he's got a team that's not going to win any games this year. And I just don't think he's the coach of the future. I'd like to see them get Mark Jackson. That's besides the point. I think he's gone. I don't think he makes it through.
Anybody strongly disagree with any of what he said, even if you have a different answer?
I strongly disagree with that drawing. That's
Fair enough.
The answer.
Prada, you've shown off Doc to the cameras. You have not selected any of the 3 options
Did you draw
before the other. Why Doc?
Well, I just think that the Clippers are in an interesting spot. They've made massive front office changes. Jerry West is in. They hired a bunch of different people. They've already stripped Doc of his personnel power, or maybe he stepped down.
Right.
You get the sense that he is used to being the only voice in the room there, and now he's not. And I don't even know if he's necessarily going to be fired, but I don't know if he's going to want to stomach that team not being good.
Right.
And I don't think they will be. And so if they get off
Do you
to a
think
rough
it's better for the Clippers, though, that he's not making personnel decisions in the same way?
1,000%.
So that is a good thing then.
Oh, good for the Clippers.
Right.
It's not necessarily good for Doc
Doc,
Rivers.
okay.
So I just think that situation is running its course. And
Okay.
we'll see. If they're good, it won't. But I have a bad feeling about that team, and I think that Doc will be the first to go there.
Okay. Whitney, you have Alvin Gentry.
Yeah.
Explain yourself.
They gave him a vote of confidence at the end of the season last year, so he's gone.
Killer.
He's
That's
done.
it.
He's out.
That's
There's no-
killer. So Monty Williams makes the playoffs. They
There-
fire him and
Yeah,
immediately
there's just-
start not
There's
making
too
the
much
playoffs.
pressure with like Boogie and AD, and he got his vote of confidence, so he's gone.
Okay.
He's gone.
Fair enough. Bram.
I also have Doc.
Doc. For
Yeah.
similar reasons, anything to add to what Prada said?
I feel like the Clippers are going to be gloriously horrible this year. And as
Okay.
a Warriors fan, I'm all in for it still. And I just am really looking forward to them. Like, he might quit, but I think also with Jerry West there now, I feel like at a certain point it's going to become an untenable situation and things are going to explode.
Is there a certain element that Chris Paul sort of helped keep things together, given a front court that had a lot of needs and needs to touch the ball? We had...
I mean, but the relationship between he and Doc was horrible
Right.
by most
Seemed
accounts.
untenable.
So
Right.
so I think one of them had to go, and it ended up being Chris. But I think the stink of that is still lies heavily on Doc, and you saw that in the offseason with him losing the ability to choose the following players who came in.
Sure.
And I don't know. I think that the front office there is in much more upheaval than we might even think.
Oh, man, no Sam Decker belief at all here on this set. No Sam Decker. Zito, I can't see that far. Please read it. Oh, also Alvin.
Yes.
Why? Anything to add to
Same
Whitney?
reasons that she said, but I think he's going to resign because him and DeMarcus Cousins are going to get into it.
Sure.
And one of them is going to have to go.
Do we think Alvin Gentry is a good head coach in a bad situation, or is he just a really good assistant?
I think good head coach in a bad situation.
Okay.
It's the Pelicans.
Maybe a mix of both.
It is.
It's kind of both.
A mix of both.
And then Anthony Davis dies like every season.
True.
You can't do anything with that.
Right.
But he is a great assistant. I mean, that. Like,
Let's check in on Golden State. Fair enough. Fair enough. He is a great assistant. All right. Because he jumped in with that, Bram, select the next category.
can I see them again?
Let's
There, all right.
here we go. Oh, that's round 2. That's round 2. So you can either choose Drake's wardrobe or trust the process.
So we are in round 1, right?
Yes.
Okay. I gotta do Drake's wardrobe, I guess.
Drake's wardrobe. Who will be? Let's start with you. And it's good that we're starting with the Golden State mind. Who will be the next player to get a signature shoe? And I say that because Golden State may or may not have a player whose signature shoe did not arrive to glowing reviews recently.
Are you asking who is the next to get a signature shoe, or who would you want?
Who
to-
should?
Who
Who
should get a
should?
signature
Based
shoe?
on, and this is what we know about signature shoes. Generally speaking, guys like that are 6'8" and under tend to sell better because they're a little flashier and they have moves. But you want somebody with a personality who can really sell the concept of the shoe, and maybe a flashy shoe that sort of pops in the eyes of sneakerheads. So which NBA player who does not have a signature shoe should have one based on his personality, based on his game, based on his potential as a salesperson? Who is that guy?
I'm so embarrassed by my answer already.
Doing it.
No, there's no wrong answer.
There's definitely a wrong answer.
There's no wrong answer.
Sitting in my lap.
It's sitting in the answer is Cody Zeller. We all know it's Cody Zeller. So that is the wrongest answer, but I'd still love to see the Air Zeller. All right, Bram, give us your definitely not wrong answer.
Patrick McCaw.
Pat McCaw. No. Why McCaw?
What
I'm a
would the shoe
fanboy.
be?
The shoe would be very quiet, very respectful, and all of the millennials who are trying to trend towards being grown-ups would buy a lot of them.
A normcore basketball shoe.
No, that worked really well with another Warrior star, didn't it?
Dude, did you see the new Clay? Is that what you're talking about?
No,
I think he's talking about
Oh,
Dad.
the dad shoes? Yeah.
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 All right.
That was bad.
So I would like to retract my statement that there is no bad answer.
There's definitely
That
a
is a bad answer. I've been ending things with the director of Vibes, Zito. What is your answer?
It's a good answer.
Explain yourself.
He's like the most exciting player in the NBA right now, or
Okay.
like off the court personality. So
Okay.
he has,
What would a Joel Embiid shoe look like?
I don't know. We probably have to look at Jack and the Beanstalk and see what the Giant was wearing.
There would
and then
definitely be like a
just redesign.
TTP on the
Yeah,
bottom, right?
I think it would be pink, like Shirley Temple's, or like.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh, that is nice. I would like some pink
Yeah.
NBA shoes.
A lot of these guys have their logos, so maybe the Embiid logo is like a cherry or something
Or
like
like
that.
like a crutch.
Would be.
yeah, an IV.
Say, would the sole of the shoe be like out of flimsy
It
material or
needs some
something?
sort of
How dare you.
answer.
They should be able to break just like the Lonzos, just like tear apart
Okay.
in the middle of the game.
Whitney, who deserves a shoe?
You're gonna hate me.
Oh no, you guys and your answers. Kyle Kuzma.
Listen, if Lonzo Ball can have a shoe already,
Well,
Okay.
That was in family, though.
Kuzma's better.
Okay,
He plays for the Lakers.
that's just like your opinion, though.
Delirious.
He
If
is-
Kuzma joins the big
he's-
baller brand, he gets to shoot the next day.
He's the right.
That is a good
He
point.
like fits the perfect height.
That's true.
Perfect type of player. Mm-hmm. He's in LA. He'll sell shoes.
Wow, the Kyle Kuzma shoe. I think he needs to play a successful NBA game first.
Yeah.
But I like that answer. Preda?
I'd switch my answer.
Okay, what was your first answer?
Embiid. Well, no. It's,
Embiid is a good answer.
I didn't really switch my answer.
Okay, so he's saying
amended-
Giannis, who's negotiating now, I believe, has his
Yes.
window right now.
Please note also this part of the answer. It says
cannot.
duh.
Okay.
So I don't know how there can be any other answer to this. You have a 7-foot point guard that is doing things that the league has never seen before.
True.
International, amazing story. Mm-hmm. I mean, that story will sell units.
And they have to call it like the freak ones, right? They have. That sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah.
Like the Euro step,
Freaks.
Euro
Yeah.
ones. I mean, to me, like if I'm one of these shoe brands, like I'm ditching my top signature athlete. Like I'm ditching my Mellows.
You're
I'm-
all in.
I'm
You would
ditching
ditch your Steph Currys.
I'm ditching my Stephs.
Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
I'm ditching all this, and I am throwing my entire budget at Giannis's signature shoe.
You would be
Freak
such
ones.
a bad.
I like it. Christian, who deserves a shoe that doesn't have one?
I am throwing my entire budget at.
Okay,
the
that's
only
not
way.
a bad
It's
answer.
the only way.
Listen,
You said marketability. You said style,
Personality.
court personality. Imagine Deion Waiters rocking some
Matthew
bright
Dellavedova
red
has
sneakers.
shoes.
Absolutely. Deion Waiters.
Okay.
Deion Waiters.
So if that's the bar, then
Deion
yeah.
Waiters.
That's the bar.
He is.
So they'll look
have
good. They'll be like very Philly-ish.
They'll be
We
very
assume so.
bright, they'll pop out. Probably gonna have a.
I think
bright
that's a
red
good
color.
answer.
Yeah, this is a great answer. It's the best.
That's a good answer. The only answer that I would be looking for here, I think Draymond's would be fun. Just in terms of personality and selling, you know he's got, I was about to make a very bad joke about his use of social media.
Wear the signature shoes of the guy who does all the little things. That'll get people excited.
So who does all
No,
of the
that
little
would not
things?
get people
Who
excited.
is that guy? Who is that guy? Who does like a CJ Miles shoe?
No, I'm saying that's
She would buy that.
Oh, okay. You're by the CJ
There's a
Miles.
market for everything.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, let's go Whitney here. Select. Oh, we already have the final category. It's trust the process.
Oh boy.
So, actually, Whitney might be the right person to answer this question anyway. So take out your whiteboards. Which team is going to tank the most blatantly? Which team is going to tank the most blatantly? So, under a new rule, each of the worst 5 teams have an equal chance at the #1 overall pick. So tanking will probably look kind of the same, but it's certainly adjusted a bit. So which team? We have a number of I think pretty good options across the league. Is going to be the most blatant, and we'll like, oh yeah, we're starting 4 D-leaguers tonight. Whoops. How did that happen?
Doesn't that not kick in until next year, though?
it doesn't. No.
Yeah, so
Not
This is
until
the
next
last
year.
So this is the last
Good point.
year to
So
tank.
this is the last year to really go for it.
It's all good.
Okay. Whitney, Suns, Christian. Let's go Knicks.
Let's go Knicks.
Fred is drawing something which is only going to end poorly. And this is okay, we've got the Pacers. All right, let's start with the Sun answers. Whitney, why?
Because like most of the players on that team are still in school. Like I think Devin Booker has like a spelling test that he still has to take. Like there's no way. It's not possible. Like he's gonna miss games for homework and stuff.
They are very young.
There's the youngest. So I mean it's just by default. There's no.
Okay.
They do have a slogan that is the timeline, which is essentially a nice way of saying we do not give a crap
Right.
about this
I mean,
year.
that's a more boring way of saying trust the process.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Timeline is just like the actual the process.
The chronology.
They can't even come up with their own.
Trust the chronology.
Technology would have been so much better.
Yeah,
than
Earl
the
Watson's on
timeline.
thesaurus.com.
So boring.
Yeah. All right. Anything to add about the
Yeah,
Suns?
the Suns they're going to be really bad, and I think that with another amazing player coming out, especially like this crop of people who are going to be coming out in the next draft.
Yep, great
it's been
class.
a strong couple drafts in a row.
Yep.
Or these last 2 especially, and so I think like they have the highest incentive to get that player. And again, like she said, everybody's 20. There's a dude named Dragon Bender. Like that's the best name. It sounds like he's like into How I Met Your. Wait, is it How I Met Your Dragon? How I Trained My Dragon?
How to Train Your Dragon.
How
I Met Your Dragon.
Your mother and How to Train Your Dragon. Anyways, it's some combination of like they're all like on the plane watching like Pixar movies. And,
Again, to Whitney's point, children on this team. Children. Zito, Pacers.
They suck.
All right. I mean,
They're bad.
we want you to be succinct.
Yeah, they're
Zito
not
was
going to be able to
succinct.
pretend that they're not bad for like more than 2 months, and they're going to be like, okay, never mind.
But the Pacers are one of those organizations that are like, no, tanking happens everywhere else, but not here. We have standards. We
Yeah, it's
don't
Indiana.
tank.
This is the capital
You
of
can
basketball.
lie while tanking tremendously.
Yeah.
See, I don't think it's a lie there, though. I mean, they're
Indiana.
Gonna
Everything in
virtue
Indiana is a
signal
lie.
Their way to 30 wins.
We'll
I don't
see.
think so.
I don't know.
I think everything in Indiana is a lie. Like,
wow.
Everything in Indiana
I'm
is a lie.
I'm sorry.
Except Whitney.
Whitney's,
not a lie.
Whitney's the truth.
Well, here's a,
She wants to be in New York, so that's
Can you name the last time the Pacers won fewer than like 35 games, even when they weren't good?
Nope.
Well, we're gonna find out this year.
So it takes a lot of skill to be like in the 35 win range all the time, and that's what they've got on lockdown.
Lance
Rita,
Stevenson.
You have
Mediocre.
drawn a picture.
Mediocrity.
And I like that you added the parenthetical with Bulls because that looks like a misshapen airplane. It looks like a space shuttle, like if you're on shrooms. I don't know what that is.
So I was trying to draw like horns, and then I realized that I was basically drawing a heart.
It looks like
So it
something.
didn't quite work as I intended.
It also looks phallic. Too phallic for this show.
gonna
It's
say-
a family program.
That's not the first time Fred has heard somebody say that looks like a misshapen airplane.
Fair enough.
Oh my goodness.
Family show. Okay. The Bulls.
Yeah, I think that their season will go about as well as my drawing.
Yeah.
They traded Jimmy Butler for a bunch of nothing, and I think their front office is the kind of front office that's like trying to sell hope more so than actually trying to build a basketball team.
Right.
So what better way to sell hope than say we are tanking for a purpose?
True.
And so I think that I could see them having a March game where they start David Nwaba.
I mean, enough said. I mean, you don't really need to go beyond
David
that.
Nwaba. Yeah. I mean, their whole entire team is like a tank brigade. So,
Yeah. I wonder which team has the most players, and I'm putting you all on the spot here, has the most players that would be like a made-up name in 2K in like a 2029 draft.
Ooh.
The Suns, the Dragon Bender
Suns, the
dude.
Bulls, Dragon Bender, that's not real.
well, don't you
Knicks
want
have a lot of.
you want a team that like has recognizable names,
Sure.
but just not together. So like you have like a normal first name and a normal last name, but you don't see them together very much. Like
Dragon Bender.
Malcolm Johnson.
Yeah.
The most
yeah.
generic names. Christian, explain your Knicks pick.
I mean, they have no choice. They're not good enough to win, so why not just lose? You know, and they're gonna lose their head coach.
The New York
Bumming
Knicks
me out.
slogan. Not good enough to win. Might as well.
We're gonna
just
print that on the poster.
Yeah, we should do that. But I mean, at middle of the way through the season, they're gonna lose their head coach, and then it's like, all right, well, we might as well finish the Euro Knicks thing and get Luka Doncic. So,
Is there any bright side?
Porzingis is going to be featured in the offense, and he's going
Okay.
to develop.
And Frank might get better throughout the year, more
Hopefully,
comfortable.
Hopefully.
Hey, Dan, what's his last name?
Ntilikina?
There you go.
Rubenstein.
Well done.
What town in France is he from?
Strasbourg?
Is that true?
I don't know.
Isn't that in Germany?
Played for Strasbourg.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say. All right. Dan won.
He played in He played for Strasbourg.
Let's go. It is time. As soon as we start talking Strasbourg basketball, it's time to get to round 2. All right. Who has not selected a category? I believe it's the director of vibes.
Yes.
Director of
All right, round 2. We have Wojbomb. One got to go. BJ Armstrong. Yes, you are reading that correctly. And 3-1 leads.
Oh, I have no choice but to pick the 3-1 lead.
Here we go.
Right off the bat.
This is probably the biggest question of the NBA season.
Thank you.
Who did Frank Ntilikina play for? Who has the best chance to beat Golden State?
Oh.
Who is built as it stands right now, personnel-wise, coach-wise, health-wise, style-wise, all of those factors to actually beat Golden State in a 7-game series come May, June. Or April if you're feeling real saucy. Here we go. So Golden State added some new pieces, but the core is obviously just completely insane and destructive. Nobody is safe. They are just going to rain hellfire on everybody. We'll start with Zito as he concludes his writing. Zito.
Whichever team LeBron James picks during the All-Star game.
Okay, and even then, you're
Even
like,
then,
well,
they're
things got to break right.
yeah, like
Okay.
there's no way.
There's no team.
No, it's just like last year. We all knew what was going to happen. We just like to put up the pretense that, you know, the Cavaliers might have a chance. Like Draymond said, like there was no chance anybody was beating that team last year. Might as well just accept it.
Okay.
Man.
Winning. Nobody.
Nobody.
There's a great article on SB Nation NBA. Tom Ziller, 25 non-Warriors reasons to watch the season. You should do that because it's
Just
not,
enjoy the periphery.
not happening.
Enjoy the process
Yeah.
of losing to the Warriors.
Enjoy the process. Preda, you're nodding. You look happy with your answer. The injury gods. It's probably not the worst answer.
Yeah,
So who is the player that would suffer an injury? We hope he does not get injured. But what would be the most catastrophic injury, single injury, for the Warriors?
You know, that's a tough one because I had this discussion on a podcast and there was a big disagreement.
Was it the Limited Upside podcast available now on iTunes and wherever you could download podcasts and your pod players? Sorry.
It was, actually.
Okay, I'm glad
Wow,
to-
what a coincidence.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, so I said it would still be Steph, and that would be the most important because, I mean, one of the funny things that we did in our previews, we changed the way we looked at what positions were. So we had guards, wings, and bigs instead of the 3 positions. And if you look at the Warriors depth chart, there's 1 guard on the team, and that's Steph Curry. Everybody else is a wing or a big. So
Right.
I still think that if they were to lose him, they would suddenly become a really good team, but a normal team. And
Right.
he's the one that makes them abnormal, either him or Draymond Green, I would say.
Yeah, he is the most out of control scorer. You know, the person that will do things that nobody else can do in the league, but at the same time is a plus defender against, you know, point guards in the West that are going to go 8 deep in this playoff. So I think that's a good answer. Anybody like enthusiastically disagree with the injury god, Zito?
Well, no, I feel like we just missed the whole point that they have Kevin Durant.
He was hurt last year, though.
Hey, I didn't say they were going to.
No, like,
won
because you
14
guys were
straight.
saying like he was like an out of world scorer and like he can defend. I'm
So
like,
that brings them to where they were a year before.
yeah. But like I don't think he can get injured because you know he eats well. He's a very nice guy.
No beer during the
Kevin
playoffs.
Durant, I think, would lose a lot of sleep being on the internet, which will put him on the red. Like
yeah.
I think he has
Wow.
a more likely chance of being injured.
Evil. Okay.
If he does, I'm gonna get so mad at you, man.
Watch it.
I'm coming out to Detroit. I'm
Watch
all right.
it.
What is your
Before
answer as
December.
somebody with Golden State expertise?
Mine is also injuries, but then I also wrote down narrative.
So what
Because
is that?
So I think the narrative that nobody can beat them, which is kind of this
Plates?
huge. I just think that that's never true, and injuries play into that. In that, like anything can happen in a long season that spans quite a long part of the year.
Okay.
And that the narrative that it's like, oh, well, you might as well find something good to do this year, and it's still going to be insanely fun to watch, no
Right.
matter what happens, even as good as the Warriors are going to be. The flip side of that is I think that I read something fun, I think it was in The Athletic or somewhere, where they were talking about how actually the Warriors are taking that narrative and actually somehow turning it into like a chip on their shoulder. They're like, oh, well, everybody's just writing this season off. And we're going to show them how good we actually can be because we didn't even like hit the peak.
Everybody
last year.
thinks we're perfect.
How does that work?
No, I love
We're
it.
the only people who could do it. Like, that's the
How
weirdest.
dare you
Oh my
give
God.
us credit?
The everybody believes in us motivation.
I know, right? It's the first ever. But so the narrative is just.
dare they?
Yeah, but the narrative
Don't
is
just
just that
give
like
us
nobody
this.
can beat them, and I think that that's always
Right.
a dangerous narrative when something is a foregone conclusion because
Sure.
we've seen how often it flips.
We're gonna prove them right.
Now you know they're grasping at straws.
Christian,
I think that basically this entire conversation was an example of why the Spurs can beat.
Spurs.
Yeah.
Last year, the Spurs were up, 23, and then Kawhi Leonard goes
Shout
down
out to
and
Christian
gets
for
one.
actually answering
This
the
is,
question. by the
this is
way.
the only actual team I think that has a chance to.
What is it about the Spurs?
I mean, they're just incredibly well coached. And when you look at the Spurs, and you look at the Warriors, and you look at all the other teams, those are teams that stand out as the best coached teams. You can add the Rockets in there if you want to, but the Spurs have been the best coached team for the longest time.
Right.
And they have at least.
and they
one-
won't lose
yeah.
games because of coaching.
Exactly.
They will adjust. They will strategize.
Yeah,
they
and when
will-
you look at what happened with LaMarcus Aldridge and Greg Popovich this summer, they're getting along now after butting heads.
Okay.
I think it's a chance. I think they can beat them.
I'll
So-
say this.
Please.
If I had a real answer, I would have picked the Spurs too, because I look at around at all these teams, and they've all addressed this as, wow, we got to address how do we deal with this Warriors' strength? Like, oh, the Cavs now have Jay Crowder to guard Durant. We've got like that. The Spurs are the only team in the league that says, no. The way you beat the Warriors is not by kind of dealing with their strengths. It's by dictating your strengths on them.
Right.
And they're the only team that's actually had in this position to do that. And I don't know if they can. I don't know if the roster is good enough, but I would wish that more teams, instead of saying we got to play like the Warriors and we got to get guys to address this matchup,
Right.
were to say, you know what? I had a youth coach who used to say this once. On defense, the whole key is you got to be the actor, not the reactor.
Right.
And that's the key to defense. You can't let them dictate what they want to do, and you respond. Whoever is actually dictating the terms is the team that succeeds. Nobody's dictating the terms with the Warriors. And it's
Right.
really hard. I'm not saying
yeah.
that it's like easy or like you're going to succeed, but the Spurs are the only team that actually, I think, looked outside the box here. I think the NBA needs a little more imagination.
And Pop has notoriously said, like, they don't watch that much film of other teams. They watch film of themselves to be the best possible version of themselves, which really we're all trying to be, right?
Yes, we are.
The back three, you guys all gave non-team answers. So on the count of three, each say the team out loud that you actually think has the chance. 1, 2, 3.
Rockets.
I love that. Okay. Rockets with Zito.
Yeah.
Because of the completely dangerous backcourt. If it works well, it's going to be ridiculous, right?
But it won't work well.
Okay.
Dude, you picked the Spurs while LaMarcus Aldridge is still on the team.
Amen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whitney?
I went Rockets.
You went Rockets as well?
Yeah, I think Chris Paul and James Harden are going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They might be like crazy enough to think they can beat the Warriors, and then, you know.
And
They'll be
Could
able to
actually
play
do it.
differently than they have in the past.
Yeah.
Just they'll be able to be a little bit more versatile.
Yep.
Bram?
I said Spurs.
Okay.
Basically for the same reason. I feel like we've been agreeing a lot, which is
It's kind of weird.
Yeah,
We
it's a
gotta
little weird.
fix that.
Picking you out.
Wonderful minds.
just in that exact thing that he described is that they are the only team that knows who they are, has a strong identity, has been together for years in one sense or another, obviously, has won more than 50 games, 17 years in a row now or something stupid. Like,
Wild, yeah.
I mean, they are far and away the most consistent and, to me, dangerous team. And again, just from knowing who you are, you're not trying to figure stuff out come April. And once you get into playoff crunch minutes and it's a completely different game, like they know exactly what's going to happen.
Down.
They know the rotations. It's years and decades in the making in some capacity. And I just think, I do think last year I was looking forward so deeply to that Spurs-Warriors matchup, and it was a shame that it didn't happen.
Yep.
And I hope that it does happen this year.
And guess
It
what?
wasn't really a
They
shame.
got Rudy
It was
Gay.
intentional.
Yeah, Rudy Gay, the
Rudy
Rudy
Gay.
Gay factor. He's not going to be asked to do all that much.
I mean, just one last thing on that point. I think with the Rockets, everybody, I think it's very sensible to say the Rockets, but I mean, that's a team that went, again, the opposite way. It's like, other than getting Chris Paul, it's like, oh, we're going to load up on these wing players to stop the Warriors. And, oh, we can switch everything now. We actually have matchups for these guys. But that's, now all you're doing is you're being the reactor. And so that's why I think, I mean, that's
You
why
gotta be able to score, though. Like,
Yeah, you do.
All right.
But the Spurs have shown that they can.
We can talk about this after the show until we're all blue in the face. Let's go to the next category. I'm feeling Bram. I don't know why.
Bram.
I mean,
The hair.
because of the last name.
Yeah, absolutely. Kinchelo.
There you go.
There you go.
Smooth. Bram, give me the category.
Washbomb?
Woj Who will be the biggest name to be traded this
I
year?
like that was.
Who will
Perfect
hit the
segue.
market? And this has been a summer. It has been the past year where we've seen big names out of nowhere get moving. We thought they were going to move at the deadline. They didn't. They moved at the draft. Who is going to be the biggest name now that secret trades out of nowhere seem to be happening more and more? Who is going to be that big name to be traded this year? Christian's so deep in thought. Freda's probably going to try drawing somebody, and it's going to end up looking like.
Oh, I'm definitely drawing somebody.
Okay, great. Zito, do you have your answer?
Yes,
He's
I
in the
do.
process. Trust the process.
I got mine.
All right, let's start with Whitney. She was quick.
yeah.
LMA.
Yeah, it goes
Marcus
back to-
Aldridge.
That's why I don't trust the Spurs, because I don't think that like this relationship is fixed like people think it is.
Okay.
So I think they're gonna deal him, and then all they really have is Kawhi in a sense, and goes back to the question before.
My
but
only question is, when is the last time you've heard or seen the Spurs make a big
did
trade
you
in
see the
middle of
offseason? It was the craziest
We're talking about
offseason
the
we've
Spurs
ever
now.
seen.
We are talking about RC Buford.
It's a new NBA.
don't
It's a
know.
new NBA. Bram, what is your answer? You
know.
selected the category. Carmelo again.
Wow.
So you envision Oklahoma going poorly, the Oklahoma City experiment going poorly, and
With him.
with
I think
him
it's gonna
specifically.
Go great after they trade him.
Interesting.
So I think that it's going to be a little bit, they're on their way to hell in a handbasket, and they're going to blame it on Carmelo, or Russ is going to blame it on Carmelo, and they're
Okay.
going to ship him out. And we were actually talking about this ahead of time.
Banana boat. Banana boat. Banana
Yes.
boat.
Yeah. So that's exactly true.
Okay.
So my question is, does he still have his no trade clause?
Okay.
And if it didn't get kicked out of the window once he did get traded, do those teams that he had selected before still count? And if so, would he get traded straight up for Kevin Love? And would we see a Russell Westbrook, Kevin Love reunion
he would.
in Oklahoma City? Slash
Go Bruins.
almost half banana boat.
Does Carmelo still have his no trade clause?
That's what I don't
what-
know.
yeah, we were
and I
talking
looked it
about
up
that
ahead of
earlier.
time, and
Yeah.
half the people said yes and half they said no.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Interesting.
Fair enough. Preda has drawn.
This is
It looks like a bird. It looks like a butt. I don't know what's happening with Preda's whiteboard, but explain yourself.
So what this is supposed to be is a unibrow
Okay.
to signify
I like
Anthony
that.
Davis. I only half believe this. I don't really believe this, but I do think that the clock is ticking in New Orleans. I'm very skeptical that him and DeMarcus will work.
Okay.
I'm very skeptical of what they've built. I'm very skeptical of the infrastructure.
And he can bring the most value.
Yeah, and I
obviously.
just think, I know that he said he really likes New Orleans, but I mean, he's made one playoff appearance now and has 0 playoff wins to his resume. At what point does he look around and see how everything's going and think to himself, man, I kind of want to be in the playoffs, man.
Yeah.
So
He's how old? 22?
He's 24. at this
24? Oh,
point,
that's
you
true,
know.
yeah.
I'm not, to be honest, like, this is a bit of a troll answer. I think this is more likely next year or the year beyond, but I do think that Pelicans fans have got their heads in the sand a little bit, thinking that this is not a
because
real
they're
problem.
birds.
All right.
I like it. I don't think it was intentional, but
No, it was
when you
totally
have a
intentional.
comedic mind operating on that level, you get those answers. No, I think that's a good answer. Christian.
Oh, that's a good answer, too.
Andre Drummond.
Drummond.
Where is the value right now in 2017 with Andre Drummond?
He just lost 30 pounds. You know, he's light. I think that this could be
Also
one
watch.
of his best seasons. But
Okay.
Detroit is a sinking ship, and they still have Reggie Jackson. No one's going to want Reggie
True.
Jackson. So they're going to need to switch something up. I think they can. I think Andre Drummond still has a lot of value.
Okay.
And if they trade him now, as opposed to
Who
waiting
would be
for
a
him.
good recipient in that trade? What would be a good fit for a versatile big man who is a little bit leaner and would fit in with?
Versatile is maybe not the word I would use for Andre Drummond.
Well, he's versatile in terms of he can
Limited.
weigh this much or he can weigh 30 pounds less.
That's a really good save.
Yeah,
That's a
thank
good
you.
question. I don't know.
Okay.
Because that type of big man, the league doesn't want him. You have to be able to shoot threes and at least hit your free throws, and he can do
Right.
either. So it's tough.
That's
but
so sad.
I don't know.
That's
Well,
heartbreaking.
one thing I will say, I wouldn't be surprised if you might see like a center for center trade where
Yeah.
these teams look around and they say, you know what, like maybe if we get a different version of what we already have, like
Right.
why not? So I could see someone like, I mean, Miami,
Yeah.
Hassan Whiteside.
What about
I would
Okafor?
like. What about Drummond for
Ooh.
Brook Lopez straight up?
I don't think the Lakers are preserving their cap space, so I don't think they're going to
That's
want
right,
to do
yeah,
that.
That's right.
So,
That's right. That's
You know,
right.
another thought might be like DeAndre Jordan if the Clippers decide that they want
Okay.
to build into and the Pistons want to
Different mix of personalities.
If the
Yeah.
Pistons say like we want to kind of blow this up or whatever, I just maybe
always
someone like
bad.
that. You could also look at a team that has some pick and roll point guards. Like I don't think that they have the pieces, but I do think like a team like Washington might be interested in a
True.
big guy to
You
kind of
guys can't take
solidify
on
that
his cap
spot.
space. You'd have to.
Yeah.
give him
You
the
Can't
ball.
stop Kelly Olynyk. You need height. You need height.
Oh man.
I'm sorry, Prada, that was mean. Zito, your answer. Okay.
Are those big names?
So let's make sure
Well,
you're
I don't-
talking about Jaleel Okafor and
Yeah.
Julius Randle.
Yeah, I don't think any of the big names like Melo or
You think it's gonna be a quiet trade?
yeah,
season?
it's like gonna be like one of these guys has to be traded. Like Okafor should have been traded last season,
Right.
And
This
Randall,
is Randall's
as soon
last
as
stand. Yeah.
Kuzma came out, they put Randall on the trade block as soon as the
Zito's
first.
drinking that Kool-Aid. I like that.
So one of them has to get traded. Okafor just is not happy.
Do you think his career is salvageable as a good player? Because he does a lot of very good things that are just a little outdated.
Yeah, he's like 21
He's
years
a very
old, right?
talented
Like,
passer and offensive player.
yeah, he just needs a new beginning, a new
Okay.
surrounding, right?
I'm writing him off.
Where?
Writing him off.
Why?
You're writing a 21-year-old off.
Yeah,
Dude,
that is-
the
that's
stuff
true.
I was doing at 21, I got
That's
written off
true.
hard.
Yeah, like he has all the good offensive skills, and he has all the time in the world to
He lost a
improve
bunch of weight,
everything.
too, right?
He did lose weight. This is I love this part of the
The
year.
muscle
The
watch.
ultimate chip. He's just going to be like, well, all right, you know,
Yeah.
coming
Does
out
he-
as the #1 kid in his class
True.
with Karl Anthony Towns and all those guys, like from high school. I mean, he's, you know,
Does
he has a lot to prove.
And
Does
we were
he have
talking.
does he have it though? I mean,
We
He's
don't know.
21.
or does he still have that like I'm Jaleel Okafor? Like I've been successful playing my way.
Did you hear
Offense should be run through me. Yeah.
But he's 21.
I mean,
He's 21.
You
I
think like
he's-
that at 21?
Yeah.
I think like that now, and I'm 26.
And we were talking beforehand about like which clunky big man will start jacking threes.
He has
Maybe
all the
it's-
time in the world to improve, and he's already like he has good skills now.
True.
Not the best skills, but he has good skills now that you can work on and improve. And he's 21 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think NBA teams have time to develop him.
I will
I
At
really
21.
don't. I don't think they're gonna have the patience.
I think he has one more
Somebody
chance. I think wherever he lands next, he has to show
Okay.
he can play.
Yeah, I agree
Otherwise-
with that.
And then what?
Should we
is
get
that
to
elite?
everybody?
You guys think at 22
Did we get
years
to
old-
everybody? Okay.
Crashed on
So
the
we
floor
have,
at work.
I think, 2 more categories. Let's go Whitney.
Let's go with.
Let's go, Wojbomb.
Wojbomb. We already did Wojbomb. So we only have
We do BJ Armstrong.
BJ Armstrong or one gotta go. She has selected BJ Armstrong, who will be the most ridiculous all-star from the East.
Oh,
course I
I
picked
see why
this.
Who will
BJ
be?
Armstrong is a category.
So we are talking about an Eastern Conference that is now without Paul George, that is now without Jimmy Butler, that is now without Carmelo Anthony. So we are going to be seeing new names in the East be selected by, we assume,
Who's on the
LeBron
East?
James. So who is that player?
Who's on the East?
Who is that player? Is it Justice Winslow?
No,
Ew.
but that's close.
Probably not.
No, I'm trying to think who's on the East.
Is it going to
Did
be
I-
Aaron Gordon? Probably not.
No,
Miles Turner?
Probably not.
Probably not.
See that happening.
I might put down
Yeah.
Miles.
Okay, well then do it.
Nah, I don't have that much.
Who do we have?
You picked him in your.
Is it going to be a Charlotte Hornet?
No.
The That wouldn't be
How
ridiculous.
hilarious would it be if Malik Monk made the All-Star team?
Who is it going to be?
I don't really
Is
believe
it going
this
to be
answer.
Zachary Levine?
No, that's not what you're doing. Oh my goodness.
All right,
really
here we
believe
go.
this,
Oh
but
my
why not?
goodness.
Well, if the answer that Preda has is as saucy as Christian says it is, Preda, reveal your answer.
Oh my!
Oh my goodness.
Alfred Payton. What do you know about the Orlando Magic superstar
Guys,
backcourt?
did you? You know
Wait.
what? Like, Alfred Payton was awesome down the stretch last year. I know nobody watched Magic games at the end of the year, but he had 5 triple-doubles. He finally was starting to put it together.
I didn't
And-
know that.
Yeah, you did. Well, you know,
Now you
should,
know.
Now you know. You should follow.
If you don't
Lee's
know, now you know.
He was great down the stretch
Okay.
last year, and I do think that there is a chance
Sure.
that he has turned a corner. And
Well,
so-
who are the point guards right now in the East that are shoo-ins for All-Star? You have Kyrie.
Remember,
IT's not
it's-
going to be
it's
back.
Guard, it's guard. Like
Right.
you don't.
It's
need,
double guard, but it won't be point guards. But who are the
They're-
guards in the East?
I mean, there are a lot. You have John Wall,
Lowry.
you have Lowry,
Beal.
you have
Have
Beal and DeRozan. You do have
Kyrie still.
you do still have Goran Dragic and Kemba Walker, and
Sure.
he's going to have to beat out a lot of people. But I mean, again, I don't really believe this. This
Okay.
is really outlandish. But I feel like you go down the East player pool, and there aren't too many picks that would like actually surprise me. This is like I could sketch the world that it happens, and it would surprise me. So
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm
Christian,
just going
so
wild
poetic.
here.
what do we have? All right, Deion Waiters.
Deion Waiters.
Deion Waiters. Waiters Island.
The Heat are going to make the playoffs. They're going to be, they had a really good run to end the season.
Sure.
They just missed it. And I don't think Hassan Whiteside is going to be an all-star this year. I think they're going to go with a guard out of Miami. I think Deion Waiters is going to have
And over Goran.
Yeah, I think he's
Okay.
going to have an even better season than he did last year. And how could you not have him?
Will he have a more efficient year? Because he has
sure.
big moments that generate attention,
Yeah.
but he was not the most efficient
I
player.
mean, sure, yeah. I
Sure.
mean, you can say that. You can say that he
Let's
wasn't
just
the
be
most
hopeful.
efficient,
Let's be
but
hopeful.
I think he's going to be just fine.
Zito.
What you got?
Again,
Joel Embiid.
Of course, he's gonna. If he's
That's not
healthy, he's
surprising.
going to be.
But
an
that's
all-star.
going to be the surprise, right? That he's healthy.
Okay.
That would be a surprise.
Yeah,
if
he
he's
hasn't
able
been
to,
healthy
and
since we've known him.
All-Star Weekend with Joel Embiid. Come on. Let's
Yeah, I
just
would
hope
love it.
for it. Let's
I would
just
love it.
hope for
If
it.
not, they could just let him run all social media.
Fair enough.
That would work.
Winnie.
Lance.
There you go.
Lance.
Yeah.
Strong.
Why? What is it about the Pacers this year that will put Lance in position to be old Lance?
Be honest.
They're awful.
Yep. True.
So he's free to do whatever he wants.
Okay.
Indiana's the only place that Lance works. We know that that's true.
Okay.
He traveled around the league, got home, and it worked perfectly. He doesn't have to heed to anybody else now. Paul's gone. You can't really trust Miles or Oladipo. It's Lance's team now. And he went for that All-Star in 2014. He made
Sure.
the video, Sir Lancelot.
It'll be an entertainment factor.
That'll be fun.
It'll be an entertainment factor. Bram.
So this pains me to say, but I think it's going to be Isaiah Thomas. As the most outlandish, just because I don't think he's going to play until then, and I could see him somehow getting voted in or something.
The Kobe effect.
Yeah, the
I
Kobe
like
effect
it.
of people feel bad for him that he got hurt and the Celtics did him wrong, and he'll end up on the team one way or another, and unfortunately won't deserve it.
Well, that's interesting. Mr. Overlooked will suddenly be the one that gets a reputation vote.
Totally.
Okay. Fair
Interesting.
enough. All right. So we have one more category.
Okay.
One got to go.
In round 2.
Here it is.
Ooh.
So you see these 4 teams. Which one of these teams who was a playoff team in the West is not going to be playing in late April, May, and June?
Oh, this is
Will not be a
so many
playoff team.
choices.
A lot of good choices here. We've got Utah losing Gordon Hayward. We have the Clippers losing Chris Paul. We have Portland, who was pretty good, but, they still have a number of issues with just high-level talent. Nurkic may be very good for them. We'll see. And, of course, the Grizz, who are no longer grit and grind, and they are just Tyreek Evans. So, Brandon, you look confident in this answer. I believe I know who your pick is going to be. Show it off. The Clippers and the Blazers.
One gotta go.
The Clippers and the
gotta
Blazers. Preda has failed. One gotta go. Preda has already failed. So which team do you feel more strongly about?
Probably the Clippers.
Why?
Because I'm fearful of their health situation. If you tell me that Blake Griffin is going to be at the level he was at 3 years ago and be totally healthy and dominate just without Chris Paul, I've got a lot of bridges to sell you. I'm not seeing it. I don't think that their backcourt is going to work. They've got either you have to play 2 good defenders or 2 good offensive players, and they all stink on the other end. So I really don't like that. I don't like that they have no threes. I think their defense will be problematic. I don't know if they're going to have a good enough offense. Again, I've already said that I'm like kind of scared about Doc there. I don't really like that. And the West is really good.
It is.
And they didn't just lose Chris Paul, remember. They also lost J.J. Redick, and they haven't really replaced him either. And
Jamal Crawford.
And Jamal Crawford. And I don't like that. I like Gallinari is another guy. Can you really count on that guy to be there for 82
the health
games?
issue there, yeah.
Just with the law of average, like, I think they're going to be well out of the playoff picture, to be honest.
Wow. Bram.
I love your Clippers hate. So I, again, also failed this, but I feel confident about the first 2 and half confident about the third one.
Okay.
So I went Clippers.
So give me the Grizz reason, because I think Prada outlined the Clippers pretty well.
The Grizzlies, I just think that their time has ended, unfortunately. I just think it's over. And they're going to have to tear it down and rebuild. As much as that sucks to say about a team that has Mike Conley.
And Marc Gasol,
and Marc Gasol, right? I mean, those are... If you have 1 and 5 are some of the best at their position in the league, you think that you should be able to compete. But again, the West is just so dangerous, and there's all these up-and-coming teams. And I just
It's rough when you have to say something like, and if Chandler Parsons is superhuman.
He's not, I think
That's
Parsons
rough.
might be done, and it's just,
That's too bad, because they had probably maybe the second best identity in the league.
Totally,
behind
and it
Golden
was
State.
awesome. And that series they played against the Warriors was one of the best.
Yes,
it was
absolutely.
fantastic. So
Here's a fun parlay game. Who's going to be the third, assuming it's not Chandler Parsons, who's going to be the 3rd leading scorer on the Grizzlies this year?
no.
What's your answer?
My answer is Wayne Selden, which says a lot.
Ooh, rough.
Really tough.
Rough. Zito. Give me a team.
Grizzlies.
Grizz, similar reasons?
Yeah, just superimpose Mike Conley's head on Jon
Lower
Snow.
the whiteboard. We can't
and
see you
say-
on camera.
And just say his watch has ended.
Okay.
It's down for him.
Okay. Whitney?
I'm going for the Jazz.
Why the Jazz?
I just feel like the wind has been knocked out of their sails. Like, they're going to try really hard to recover from Gordon leaving, but, like, they really can't.
Okay.
I love Ricky Rubio. I'm here for, like, the resurgence of, like, long-haired breakup Ricky Rubio to, like, take over. I want that to happen. I don't believe that can actually happen, so I don't
Newly
think...
single divorced dad.
Like,
Ricky Rubio.
Revenge
It's
Rubio.
Richard now. It's Richard Rubio.
Stop at the bar on the way to home.
like, as much as I want that to happen, I just don't actually think that it can.
Okay.
So I don't have a lot of faith in them.
Christian, give me an answer that you feel passionate about, and it is, again, the Grizz.
Yeah.
Any other different reason? Just that it's
Chandler Parsons.
gone on.
Chandler Parsons is my reason.
Okay.
I just
At least
don't
they could party a lot this year.
They can.
They won't
So
really
as
care
a group,
too much.
we have taken that for data.
Yeah.
We have taken that for data. All right. That's the end of round 2, correct?
Won't rook us.
That is the end of round 2. So I got a bit of gossip in my ear. And this is going to be like a sort of intermission thing.
Okay.
But you can write it on your whiteboard. This is according to TMZ.
This is happening now.
I can be corrected by the producers if I'm wrong. But with your whiteboard, write down the member of the Golden State Warriors who is reported again by TMZ to allegedly have a foot fetish.
Oh. Has to be Durant.
Did this just...
No, I have been told. Did I get that right? Producers can tell me.
Well, a foot fetish.
Okay, I am correct that one of the Golden State Warriors is being reported by TMZ, Golden State Warrior players.
Player, not like coach.
Correct.
All right, let me start.
It is not.
So Steve Kerr.
It was definitely
Kerr.
Ron Adams.
It is not Bob Myers. I mean, I shouldn't say it's not them. I don't know them.
Oh, man.
So which one? And obviously it's TMZ, so you're going to assume it's somebody famous. So probably not Omri. Probably not. I mean, Nick Young actually has worked his way in, so.
Is it one of the famous ones?
They're all famous.
Well,
I mean, the
but, like,
Warriors at this point.
core?
It's not
All right,
your guy.
here we go. This is again alleged by
I said it's a
TMZ.
shoe thing. That would be weird.
All right, hide your answers. Hide your answers. Does everybody have their answer?
Yes.
On the count of 3, flip your answers. 1, 2, 3. Who do we have? Andre Iguodala, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Draymond, Durant. You're all wrong.
Who is it?
Steph Curry.
Curry is
Not the
alleged.
church boy, no.
Who could have seen?
Do you think it started with like massaging his
No wonder
injured
his shoes
ankles?
look like that.
How did it start?
Let me just say this.
No,
Again.
Is that how UA got the pitch? They like
Yeah.
knew that and they came in hard?
That's how that.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, phrasing.
Oh my God.
So
At least-
again, I have to stress that this is alleged. And you know what? Whatever you're into, you're into. It's cool. We're all
Yeah,
human
we don't
beings.
kink shame here.
But wow, you guys off in your gut.
Well, because he puts out such a nice family image, right? Like,
What's wrong? But there's nothing not
Yeah, but
family
that's-
about feet.
Exactly,
We
but
all
like
have
I would
feet.
think
We all
it
have
would be
feet,
Klay
totally.
Thompson.
We all- yeah.
because everything about him is alleged, like the alleged goatee that he has, like the alleged human face
The
that he has.
alleged bank robbing thing
Yeah,
that happened.
like right, that's a guy you don't trust.
No, I trust him a lot to have a foot fetish. Okay.
This is a good learning exercise for me, just personally. I learned a lot here. Let's go on to round 3 to see the categories. Who has not selected first? Like, let's. I feel like Christian. It's been a while. It's been too long.
Do it.
What are you thinking?
Leaping ability.
Leaping ability. Who will be this year's Giannis? Which is to say, who will cement himself as a top 10 player?
Oh, I know this.
Giannis came on strong last year, MVP candidate, do everything,
Kill me, bro.
My board is falling.
point, whatever, point center, point power forward. Giannis was a obviously physical freak, could do a number of
son.
things,
My beautiful son.
Am I going
and
first?
is an NBA player unlike any NBA player we've ever seen. So that it doesn't necessarily have to be a crazy uniform, but who will be that person that cements himself as a top 10 player? Christian.
Gotta go with Joel.
Joel Embiid is a good answer because of the physical versatility.
Yes. He's shooting.
We also have an
40
Embiid up top with Kinshalo.
We're on the same page, Mo.
I feel like
Embiid.
Joe's got the same answer.
Anything to add about him cementing himself as a
Well,
top 10 player?
yeah,
I didn't even.
Yeah.
Yeah, anything anybody wants to
I mean,
add.
he's shooting 40-foot threes now,
Yep.
cashing them out. Looks like he might be healthy. If he can play more than 31
Excellent
games,
two-way player.
Yeah, I think he's going to be an all-star.
Has polish beyond his years. Okay.
Great.
I mean, I'm not sure if he makes that leap if he only plays 31 games or whatever, but I
Right.
think if he plays
If he plays
55 to 60,
yeah,
65 games, like definite top 10 player. And I think he's top 5 in the MVP voting. also.
Wow. I like
Wow.
that. Bold
we go.
flavor. Okay. Karl Anthony Towns. And ha ha.
It refers to Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh, that is the nerdiest
so
pick
bad.
possible.
Greatest thing on brand. I can't hate that. I can't hate that. Let's start with Karl Anthony Towns. He obviously finished his season last year with an incredible, incredible level of play. What is it about his game that you feel like will go from being top 20-ish into that top 10?
I feel like part of it's the pieces around him now. So
Yep.
he's more set up to be successful. You can only do so much when you're in a limited situation. But now he's got Jimmy, even Jeff Teague, I guess. You know,
Taj
like-
Gibson's there to clean up a
Yeah,
lot of things.
Right. I just
Yeah.
feel like he's more in position now. He's been knocking on the door a little bit to get into this position. I feel like now the situation is right for him to actually.
Did he lose
actually
weight
do
or
it.
become a vegan? Do we
Probably,
have?
surely. he
Probably.
did.
I just need that
Everybody
one
else
more
did.
little fun
Everybody
fact.
else did.
Yeah, with Towns, I think what happened, and this happened to Anthony Davis the previous years, you go into the season, you're like, this dude is going to be so good. And there's so much hype around him and that team. And then because he's a second-year player, he's not as good as you'd expect, and you start to pick him apart
Right.
in December and January to look at, oh, actually, he's kind of not that good on defense and all that. And then you forget about him. But down the stretch of the season, his numbers were absurd.
Right.
Absolutely absurd. So I think it's a good choice.
And it's a long season, and you don't always start out excellent. And that's okay, but you got to make the playoffs. You have to really show out and do it on the biggest possible stage. I think to be a top 10 player, to Giannis makes that leap and gets his team into the playoffs.
In the
What
East.
is it? Yes. Fair. Good asterisk in the East. What is it about Jokic that has him leaping?
I would. I think Towns is probably the safest pick. I just kind of wanted to do something a little bit different.
Okay.
I think.
Nerdy.
I mean, but right.
It's okay. Jokic is like the nerd god of NBA too.
I just think that the Nuggets in general are a team that's kind of on the come. The people that, again, us nerds.
Yeah, you know who you are.
Yeah.
Know how good the Nuggets offense was. Did you guys know? Sorry, lesson
gonna
from
drop
the
some
nerds
facts?
to
No, it's fine.
The Jocks.
The Jocks.
Jocks will
Yeah.
rise again.
Over the last 4 months of the season, the best offense in the league was not the Warriors. 4 months, by the way, it was a long time.
That's a long time.
Was the Denver Nuggets.
Like my longest relationship. Go ahead.
And now they add Paul Millsap.
They had Paul Millsap, which I think will take a
You see
lot
what
of
that ended up meaning.
a ton of defensive pressure off Jokic. I think it might take a little bit. It's been a little
it's gonna
rocky
take a
in
minute.
preseason, but
Sure.
I think that combination of skill and their ability to play inside and out will really activate all the great parts of Jokic's game. I also think that Denver will trade for a vet point guard at some point, and I think that'll make Jokic even
You're not a
better.
Jameer Nelson believer?
No.
Okay, just making sure we're all on the same page.
I think they'll trade, for a vet, a better player there.
Who would be that fit?
I think Eric Bledsoe is a guy that they almost made
He
that
won't
trade.
need to be counted on. Yeah.
I think they almost made that trade at the draft. And then you look at his combination of skills, and I think he'll be in better shape. He'll be a better defensive player, and offensively, he's just so versatile and talented. And we're talking again about a player that, Giannis last year was very much off the radar of top 10.
Right.
Karl Anthony Towns was
on the radar.
talked about as a top 10 player going into last year. I interpreted this question as who's the guy that's off the radar, and that's why I went with Jokic.
Can you be a top 10 player and make that leap to top 10 without making the playoffs?
Well, they'll make the playoffs.
I know they'll make the playoffs, but I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
I think Anthony Davis is a top 10 player, and the Pelicans haven't been in the playoffs in a little while.
He's been to the playoffs, though.
Once.
Yes.
Well, but the year that he became a top 10 player, they made the playoffs.
I'd say
You know
that's
what I mean?
true.
10 player,
Yes.
though.
So with Jokic as well, he's got two players in Jamal Murray and Gary Harris who are themselves leaping, which only adds to the versatility of that Denver team. Whitney, you had something to add?
No.
I saw you talking beneath your breath.
No,
It's just
the vibes back here.
Yeah,
There's
I was
vibes?
directing the vibes.
Zito, what do you have to add?
goodness.
No, just I understand. Like being a nerd, he was obligated to pick.
Listen,
Bruh.
I think it's very easy to appreciate Nicholas.
No, I love him.
I was
Okay.
going to ask, why is he a nerdy pick?
Because I don't know the obsession with NBA Twitter with Jokic, right? Because he's a very good young player, and then
right.
next thing you know, you log on to NBA Twitter, it's like Jokic is the greatest big man to ever exist.
Perhaps-
And it's like Jesus.
Perhaps it's because we actually watch him play and you don't.
No, why would I watch Denver?
Well, so what kind of leg do you have to say?
No, I picked Karl Anthony Towns, right?
It just came for you.
I just said that.
It's the race, but he did.
I just said that it was. I knew who he was gonna pick before the question was even asked.
Okay,
Oh, man.
fair enough. Breda, select a category. I like you defending a player that nobody else had.
League pass alert.
League pass alert, who will not make the playoffs team-wise, but be the most fun to watch? Who will put an entertaining brand of basketball on television if you are buying League Pass, even though probably not going to win 40 games? Who is that team that it will at least, they'll have pieces, they have bucket getters, they have somebody distributing, they play good defense is tough to be a League Pass alert team, but who is that team that they'll keep you up till 2 a.m. or whatever the case may be, that is just a great TV show?
Doing it. They're not on League Pass.
Don't do
They're
it.
not on League Pass.
Oh God.
Come on. So Bram has an answer, so we'll start with you.
So this is just the troll again and me coming out, but it's going to be the Clippers.
Okay.
Although there are basketball.
Milos!
Yeah, exactly. Like watching Teodosic do his thing is going to be incredibly entertaining
Yep.
for the 30% of the time that he's able to do it in each game. But
Yep.
he'll have one just stupid pass per game
That's fine.
that blows up the internet, and then
Oh,
they
yeah.
lose by 5, and then Doc gets fired. And I'm also going to enjoy watching them fail.
Okay, wow, that took a turn. They're going to be great and fail. Christian, League Pass team. The Unhappy Suns. Or Lions?
No. The Suns are
The
gonna be,
Detroit Lions.
the Suns are gonna be fun to watch just because they have Devin Booker, they have Josh Jackson, they've got Derrick Jones Jr. who's gonna jump out the gym. Marquise Chris can jump. They're just gonna lose a lot of games, but
Maybe
fun to
Dragan
watch.
Bender does something.
yeah, that'd be fun. You know?
Okay, fair enough. Let's go Zito. Denver. Not gonna make the playoffs. So I feel like there is like an inner Zito Preda thing. I love it.
No, I would never troll Prada on live.
So it's because they're fun and play good
Yeah, they're
offense
fun.
and have a
They're
number of
they have
exciting
really great
players.
players, but they're just not
Oh my goodness.
gonna make the playoffs.
Okay, interesting.
That would
Whitney?
be awful.
This is not a League Pass team because they're on TV way too much.
Okay, they're not a League Pass team, but explain
but-
to me a non-playoff team.
Yeah, they're not going to make the playoffs, but I think they're going to be really exciting. I think Lonzo's going to be exciting. Kuzma, I think Randall will be exciting. I think they have enough to be fun to watch.
Sure.
I don't know if they'll actually be good. Or
Right, they're going to have to win every game 138 to 135.
Yeah, but I think that they're going to be fun. The only problem is they're going to be on ESPN every night, not League Pass.
That's fair. I'll accept the answer.
We don't
Big
do.
Baller Network.
Thank you, Big Baller
Baller
Network. We don't do.
Preda with a
League Pass.
last-second answer. Preda.
Not Dallas.
Just because nobody mentioned the one at the bottom is one to edit. The real
true.
answer is Dallas, I think.
Right.
I'm really excited for the Dennis Smith Jr. show. I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I think there's going to be a little bit of tug and push and pull with him and Rick
Yeah.
Carlisle. That team just they're always well coached. They have a lot of
Does
guards.
he like rookies traditionally? I don't feel like he does.
but
yeah.
he loves Dennis Smith Jr.
Okay.
We'll see how much he loves Dennis Smith Jr. in February when he's committing his 8th turnover of the game. But he
Right.
loves Dennis Smith Jr. I'm really excited to see how that works. I think they play a nice, aesthetically pleasing style of ball. I like the way they go small, and I like that we're going to see Dirk Nowitzki in his twilight. I think
Yeah, he's probably not going to be great, but he will be entertaining.
Continue to see Dirk Nowitzki
now-
as Twilight.
Yeah.
Twilight's been for like a couple of years.
It's true. A Twilight tour continues.
Twilight has been 10 more seasons than the show Twilight, which is
Fair.
I
And
will,
Philly.
say, I will say, though, that I'm surprised nobody mentioned Philly because I guess, do you guys think that Philly's going to make the playoffs? Is that why you didn't mention them?
I just
Well, they
They're
just
gonna make the
chose other
Yeah.
teams.
yeah.
It's the East.
So Philly, what is Philly going to look like with full health?
Well, that's the thing. I don't really know, and I'm really curious to find out. I'm just really fascinated to watch how Simmons fits in. You know, I think he's an amazing passer. I'm curious to see how they tease out Fultz. And when Embiid does play, how can you not want to watch Embiid?
Fair.
I mean, to me, I just thought that everyone was going to name Philly. That's why I didn't
But I
put
think
them
we
on
also
here.
I'm
all think
personally-
I had
playoffs.
other obligations.
Yeah, I kinda
Personally,
think
you not
playoffs.
mentioning Robert Covington is an insult.
Yeah, he was part of the process when they took that picture. He
That's
was right
true.
there.
No, Dario Saric. No, that's a very good answer.
I don't think they're
gonna
going to
be
make the playoffs because I don't think Embiid's going to stay healthy long.
fun. Okay.
But
They're not good enough to make the playoffs without Embiid.
no. I don't
Okay.
think so. No.
Fair enough. Any other answers? We got Lakers, we got Philly, we have Dallas.
I'm
All right.
surprised Christian didn't say Brooklyn.
Nah.
Not there yet.
They're gonna make the playoffs, so.
Okay. fair. All right,
hope
Whitney,
alive.
select a category.
Let's do NBA Twitter.
There you go.
NBA Twitter. I like this one. Is Kevin Durant still using burner accounts? Is he still to this day using burner accounts to respond to insults, accusations, put downs, misrepresentations? Is Kevin Durant, and I believe it was Roger Goodell's wife, who was anonymously responding to
Defend your
Goodell.
man.
Defend your man. And it's just very personal with Kevin Durant. Defend your man and yourself. Is he still using burner accounts? And is there somebody else you're positive is also doing the same? You can think about that.
Oh, I have an answer for that.
Okay, let's go to Zito. I feel like he has thoughts. We've got YES. Anybody with yes? YES Whitney. Oh, okay, so we've got a no from Bram.
Specific account.
Oh, okay. You do believe this? Why? Whitney first.
You don't get that far in and just quit. Like,
Yeah, he's
he
down.
was
There's a
on-
competitive
He
nature.
was on like multiple platforms, like on Instagram, on Twitter. Like he can't just quit that cold turkey.
Oh man,
Like,
he's on LinkedIn right
yeah,
now.
He's still out
He's
there.
in MySpace.
He's on
arguing
MySpace.
He's still out there.
He's in iTunes reviews.
What do you
He's
think-
everywhere.
What do you think his username is for his top fake account?
Not Kevin Durant. That's the only way.
Really
to
not Kevin Durant.
Sell the anonymity. 100% not Kevin Durant.
Please don't call me Kevin Durant.
Zito, why do you think he definitely still is?
Because he just has that. He has that personality, right? Like, and he's already done it to that
Fire
extent,
burns.
right? And you just don't stop cold turkey, right? He just created new ones, and he's gonna be less obvious about it. Probably just be in Steph Curry's mentions.
Oh,
talking
now
about
after
how
today's
good Kevin
news,
Durant is.
alleged news, alleged news.
Right? Like, no, he's on social media way too much to give that up.
Okay, Christian, you say nah.
Nah. I just think he learned his lesson.
Okay, he's moving on.
Yeah, I think it's over. I
Stop
think he's got
it.
bigger things to focus on.
Like
Bram.
what?
He had big things to focus on last
He
year.
won a
that's true.
championship.
Let's do it,
I
man.
think he learned his lesson.
So I think specifically his handle is at Ryan_Morton.
Oh, no.
Explain this
This
answer.
is an inside joke.
Explain this very inside.
He moonlights as the social media director of Fear the Sword. And instead, he just has horrible takes and he just tries to throw the people off the scent. And all he talks about are butts and Fireball.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
I
makes
like
him
that. That's
everybody.
very specific, but I'm happy for the explanation. Prada, your answer is Harden rolling eye gif.
As in, no duh. He still has it.
Okay. Why do you think that is the case?
Because of all the reasons.
I cannot believe you wrote out a parenthetical gif of another.
knew
Okay.
this
Can you
was
really
coming.
not believe that, though?
No, you know what? I fully believe
believe
this.
it, yeah.
Prada, explain yourself.
No, this is what everybody else said. I do want to throw this thought out there as far as who is another player that maybe does have an account that's secret. I'm going to go LeBron James.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
LeBron James, I think,
don't
has
think
a
he
burner
does.
account.
LeBron doesn't need that.
Yeah,
Maybe
LeBron
his
will
wife does.
subtweet you
Maybe
on
his
his
wife
own
does.
account.
That's
LeBron
true.
will schedule workouts while Kyrie is on TV just to say that
He
he's
called.
with Kevin Love. Like, he doesn't need that.
Yeah, he was in UCLA while Kyrie was
was.
trying to give his press conference.
Taking selfies of him and-
like
and Kevin.
LeBron is king
need that.
of the
Because he is
subtweet
direct.
control.
He
Yeah.
signs his name.
He doesn't need that.
I think that he has such an appetite for reading other people's coverage of him that he can do both at the same time. He can subtweet
Oh,
and
get
have
you a
burner
man who could do
account.
both.
Let me open this. If you were an NBA star, would you?
Yes.
We want
Yes.
full
No.
honesty.
Yes.
I would have someone else do it for me.
And I hope
Okay, a
someone
close
is
friend or family member.
Here's the
defending
thing.
too.
My account is the burner account right now. So, like, I'm unashamed about what I tweet. So, if I was an NBA player, I would be Draymond Green on the court on Twitter.
Oh, no.
Okay, Whitney?
Yeah, no.
100% yes.
Yeah, and I hope there's somebody defending me in my mentions too.
Like that.
Yeah.
you go.
Let's
Graham?
go
I'll come
all
to bat for
out.
you.
Let's
This
go
is like the
all
old
out.
man thing to say, but if I actually was doing something important with my life and people like knew my name, I would not look at Twitter. I might not even have a Twitter account
You say that.
You say that now.
because I like barely use it now. And
I know, but if you're super famous,
I'm
there's
gonna
an
be super
appetite.
famous.
okay,
So,
well, there
yeah.
you
He
go.
is super famous.
Yeah, he just said he wasn't. I'm just going with him.
Graham.
Final category. Here we go. 1, gotta go. Which team of these 4 has the best chance to make the Eastern Conference Finals? Is it the Wiz? Is it the Bucks? Is it the Hornets? Is it the Raptors? Wiz, Bucks,
Why
Hornets,
is this marker
Raptors.
so hard to take
Hornets
off?
keep on drafting lottery picks. Raptors kept signing superstars. I mean, the 2 of them. Maybe just stars. The Bucks have maybe the most versatile unicorn in the league.
The greatest.
The greatest unicorn in the league. And the Wiz have a really good big 3. We have answers. We have answers.
We do.
Flip them.
Let's start with Christian. Winner of Raptors versus Bucks.
Yes. So they played
I'm
last
going to
year
need,
in the
we went
playoffs.
one
We
step
need-
farther with
I
this
got
question.
You. I got you.
Yeah.
These 2 teams played last year in the playoffs. I thought that was one of the most entertaining series
sure
that
was.
there were. And then the Raptors got swept, I believe, by the Cavaliers. I think this time neither of those teams will have to go through the Cavaliers. So whichever team, one of those. If I had to go with one of them, I'd go with the Bucks because they have the best player.
Okay.
But whichever one of these 2 teams wins that,
What is it that you specifically like about the Bucks beyond Giannis?
that's a good question. You know, I think that he controls everything. They have a lot of good, like, supporting cast players around. They have
Right.
got players that can shoot. They've got Brogdon, who won Rookie of the Year, even though Joel Embiid was supposed to win. They've got Chris Middleton back healthy. Jabari Parker could be back. They've got a lot of big bodies.
And
Everyone
Prada
is-
and I have discussed this. They play a very versatile brand of defense.
Yeah.
And they match up with a lot of good teams
I'm not
really
sure.
well.
I'm not sure it's a good brand of defense, but it's
It's a
certainly versatile.
specific brand.
They have
Yeah.
a great. They're
very long.
Great.
Yes.
And,
long and athletic.
And then you have one of the best players in the league. So
All right. Zito. Bucks again. Anything to add?
Well, especially the defense. And last year when Giannis looked at DeMar DeRozan's stat line and said he had 8 points and they were all free throws. And then he shrugged, and I was like, yeah, this kid is going places.
Zito likes
That
the
was
confidence.
Yeah, I love
It's a
the
shocker.
Bucks.
I love it. But no.
buddy.
Whitney.
Same thing they all said, but like by default, I don't trust anybody else.
Okay. What is it about the other
trust the
teams
Hornets?
that
No,
you
I
distrust?
definitely don't trust the Hornets.
Okay.
The Raptors are just like the best friend team, like, you know,
Okay.
DeMar and Kyle just running around. And then the Wizards, cover your ears.
Yeah.
I just don't trust John Wall to like make that leap that he needs to make.
Really?
Trust gang sign John Wall. I do.
Well, yeah, actually, I do. But
I don't trust Bradley Beal.
Bram.
So I also think Bucks, but I
Okay.
think they're going to meet the Celtics there.
Interesting. Why not the Cavs?
I think that this is the year that LeBron finally doesn't make the finals and also maybe doesn't make the Eastern Conference Finals.
That's
Is it because of a lack of Kyrie?
I think it's because I think the Celtics are going to be really good.
Okay.
And I think that somehow the Celtics and Cavs might meet in the round before this.
Okay, so you
And
think,
Cavs
like,
will get eliminated?
A
I
1-4
think the Cavs are-
matchup? Or
Yeah, I think the Celtics are going to be the one, and I think the Cavs are like not gunning for that top seed and have
Right, they're just-
confidence in LeBron to get them through.
Right.
And as we saw last year with Boston, but I think Boston's a lot better this year, and I think that they stumble.
Okay.
it have to
Prada?
be 4 though.
I mean,
It have to be the 4.
who
Yeah.
do you think I'm going
He's going to take the Wiz.
Oh, how do you know? I didn't say who.
Well,
Just kidding.
You wore a House of Guards shirt. Like,
it's true. You do
yeah.
wear this
I'm
pick
a
on
little
your
su-
literal chest.
I'm a little surprised at the uniformity. I mean, I'm not super confident in the Wizards being able to do it, but I'm surprised
Right.
nobody picked them. You know, they were the next best team.
So what
last
is it about the Wiz that is above these 4 teams?
Well, I think they're better than all of them last year. I know Toronto had a better record, but
Right.
the Wizards are on the rise. They've got young players that are getting better. I think they have another year in Scott Brooks' system. And frankly, when you look at other than Giannis, who's just a total game changer type of talent, they have the most guys that these teams actually need to worry about. You know, they have the most guys that in a playoff series, you're like, God damn it, we got to play that.
Oh,
those
language.
dudes.
Okay, no, I like that.
He's really
No, you're
passionate
right.
about the Wiz.
No, I mean, look how good Bradley Beal was last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, these are also players that they stepped their game up in the playoffs.
Yes.
You know, I know that they haven't reached beyond the second round, but Beal has always been a better playoff player than regular season player.
Okay.
Wall too, and I think Kelly Oubre's emergence is going to be really key. I mean, they just present, I think, the most problems outside of just the singular holy crapness of Giannis.
Right.
If
And
they ever stop like making fake beef with other teams,
Yeah.
I might.
We're gonna
That's
wear all
important.
black
Important.
today. We're gonna wear all black and still lose.
Yeah.
I'm not going to disagree with you. Like, I have concerns. Like,
What is the concern about the
I'm
Wiz?
concerned that they like are a little bit they're a little bit too much of a woofing team. They do sort of believe that they are probably further along than they actually are. I'm worried about that. And their defense, they got to get more effort on defense. Like, there's no reason that team. But if they can like really lock in, it's really on those three stars, Walt, Beal, and Porter. If they can play to their potential on defense, I mean, they have, I think, by far the best offense of all those teams.
Okay.
And if they can play a little bit more to their potential on defense, then there you go.
I heard a fun trade idea, and I can't remember where I heard it. Is that Boogie to the Wiz? And in that case, I would put them in the Eastern Conference.
See, I don't want DeMarcus Cousins.
See?
I don't think he owns
Wow.
You don't want the John Wall Boogie like reunion?
No,
Kentucky fun?
I'm
It'll
also
be a
not-
lot of
He
fun.
slows them down.
I don't.
would.
I just don't think that. I like that the identity that they've crafted for themselves. This
Who
driving.
is the
kick.
ideal addition to this team to get them over the hump?
They
Realistic.
don't need a superstar.
Steph
remember?
Curry.
Steph Curry.
Realistic ideal.
I mean, I think if they could get a better rim rolling and defensive center, I think that would go a long way.
Would you take Andre Drummond?
I would gamble on him. I think like if they somehow if DeAndre Jordan wasn't in his last year of his deal and they didn't have
Right.
salary cap issues, I think he would be an interesting fit. I think the other guy who I think would really put them to another level that unfortunately they almost had was Al Horford.
Right.
I think that would be the guy that
Ideal
would
fit.
really make things a lot better for them, and they were so close to getting him. The thing that worries me the most about them is that the barometer of their team is Markieff Morris.
True.
If they had Al Horford instead, I'd feel so much better about them. Those are probably the two that I would look at.
All right, Zito, give me a bold prediction to finish out this show. We're all going to get bold predictions. You don't have to write it down. We did this on Instagram beforehand. It can be that. It can be something different. Give me something bold. Give me something
What's my
spicy.
bold prediction?
I don't remember.
You had like.
I think you said Kyle Kuzma was going to be the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, Kyle Kuzma, Rookie of the Year.
Kyle Kuzma, Rookie of the Year. Okay, what is it about Kuzma's game that has you and apparently the internet agog?
He's just wonderful, right? Like sometimes you find wonderful people in your life,
Okay.
and you just have to keep.
Who is your comparison for Kyle Kuzma? If he reaches his ceiling, he can be as good as.
Kevin Durant?
Wow.
What? I said it.
I love it. I love the
said
enthusiasm.
I said he said bold prediction.
over here?
You said bold prediction, right? Life is for the bold. I
Ready
gave
to
you a
give
bold
me
prediction.
something bold and spicy. Steph will score more than. I don't see the end of that.
It's 81. I think someone, I don't know if it's
All right.
Steph, I think someone's going to approach the 100-point record from Wilt Chamberlain.
I like that. What are other names that are on the table?
I
with
think
that?
Harden is one, like Clay is another. I think Kyrie is someone that might do it.
Kyrie's gonna go for
Damian Lillard is kind of a dark horse.
We're not going
Sure.
to Tony Allen?
Yeah.
He get 90.
He's still in
Wow, leaving off Devin Booker. Interesting.
Devin Booker is actually another dark. I think anyone who is a guard that shoots a lot of threes and can get hot
fearless
on a
shooter.
certain night,
Yeah.
I think that's somebody who can
Chris
be good.
Middleton.
We're talking like in regulation or like overtime?
No, I think in regulation.
Regulation.
Okay.
Bram?
This pains me so deeply, but I think the Lakers are going to be the 8th seed.
Bold!
Oh, yes.
So bold. What is it about the Lakers
I
that
think
has them
Lonzo's-
taking a leap?
I think Lonzo's going to be really good.
Okay.
And as we've
They're gonna
seen,
need more than that.
Kyle Kuzma.
some players who people really like
Kuz
could be
hive.
really good.
Okay.
And I think that I really like the coach, obviously coming from the Warriors system, and I think they finally have the players to run more of an up-tempo sort of passing offense that
Sure.
that he ran in Golden State. And then I think also like the Blazers are going to fall off. I think this is the year that their mediocrity comes to
Yep.
bite them, and they are the 9th seed.
Christian. Bold and spicy. Brooklyn. It will continue existing? What is? Give me something with Brooklyn.
The Nets are going to make the playoffs.
What? Okay.
The Nets are going to make the playoffs.
Let's
Even
back up.
Dan had to laugh at that.
Okay.
Number one, the East is very weak. We saw all
MVP,
these all-stars
Rondé,
leave.
Hollis, Jefferson.
Hey,
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Rondé Hollis Jefferson are rolling forward demon in the preseason.
Listen,
It's
now,
true.
The Nets are going to make the playoffs because, one, the East got significantly weaker. Two, they upgraded their roster. They got D'Angelo Russell. They picked up Allen Crabbe. They picked up DeMar Carroll.
Yeah.
You know, and three, they compete. You know what I'm saying? They've got a coach that
They play hard.
Go out there and not play defense. You're not going to go out there and not run.
Right.
And there's a lot of teams that won't do those two things. And I think they're going to win a lot of those 50-50 games, and they're going to win a lot of the games in their conference. And I think they're going to shock some people and win and get the 8th seed.
Did you see when Philly were blowing them out by like 40 points at the last game they played?
I don't know what you're talking about.
See, let's just be willfully ignorant of all things. So
I mean,
that's, the sort of theme of the show. Let's be willfully ignorant of certain important
might be
things.
the name of the show.
Yes, it's true. Listen, thank you very, very, very much to all of you. You did a wonderful job. A lot of your opinions were garbage, but most of them were garbage in an entertaining way, and you guys love the NBA. It's a joy to see. So thank you, Bram. Thank you,
Did
Whitney.
you get
Thank
to
you,
her
Zito.
for her
Did
bold
you not
prediction?
give
No,
me
it's fine.
give me something bold real quick? I'm a bad person.
Hear me out. I think LeBron's gonna win MVP.
Okay, thank you so much for
Yeah.
that contribution.
whoa, that was rude.
Why do you think Why do you think that's bold?
Because no one actually thinks he's
best
gonna win it.
player.
No, but he's not, right? Who are you gonna say is gonna win MVP? Kawhi.
Okay.
I think
You're gonna
Kyrie-
list like 4 or 5 people before you ever
And
list LeBron.
He will be forced to play without IT for
He's
a few
actually,
months.
and you actually have to like recognize that he's still the greatest.
You
What
look
do
at
you
his, you look at his Instagram, you could tell he's ready for this season.
He's ready?
He's been drinking a lot of wine.
The Instagram where he was hoping his beard could go on
Yeah,
top
right?
of his head,
He's-
I did like him a lot more.
Yeah,
after seeing
he's
that.
ready for this. I have
Okay.
faith in him.
Once I saw him rocking a do-rag, I knew what it was.
Yeah, cape out. The cape is flying.
It's over.
Fair enough. All right. That was my bad. Thank you, everybody, for watching. This has been a fun time. This has been the 2017-2018 SB Nation NBA preview presented by Xfinity Mobile. My name is Dan. Those wonderful people are those wonderful people. I cannot stress enough. Listen to the Limited Upside podcast. How about that, right?
Yeah,
you weren't
thank
expecting
you.
that.
Thank
He gave you the
Thank
thumbs up.
Follow all of these wonderful people on Twitter and read all of their wonderful work. And SB Nation NBA, it's the single best place on the internet for NBA coverage. You know this, I know this, they all know this, and they're the reason why. So thank you, everybody, for watching. We will see you throughout the year, through June, July, August. It's all happening. We'll see you soon.